We started brewing in March 2016 and opened the doors to the public in August 2016. I had my beer epiphany really in Canada. I was snowboarding in Canada and a mate of mine, he introduced me to these things called microbrews, and I tasted them and it was like this taste explosion. I was like, wow, how good is this? So I just fell in love with beer from then on, and I guess been on a pathway to share that love of great beer with as many people as I can, and that's pretty much what drives me, what drives my business partners, and what drives our whole team, is just sharing that love of great beer. For us, community is massively important, and part of our core values is to be a contributor to that community and be a responsible member of that community and do everything we can. And I guess a big part of that is our responsibility to minimise our footprint as much as we can, be as sustainable as we can. The whole idea of it is to integrate it into daily working life. Wherever you start, you don't get to the finish line almost ever. It's about continuous improvement. You start somewhere and you just start to slowly improve. It's a really collaborative industry, and one of those groups that I'm a group member of is the sustainability group. There's breweries from all over the country that are representing, and the whole idea of it is to take everything that we've learnt together and create a shared learning centre so that other people who are interested and want to do things can look at the resource. We really want to do the best we can for the planet. We've only got one. There was a bit of a pivotal moment, and that's when Take Two, which is a program developed by Sustainability Victoria, was a list of things that you can do to sort of minimise your carbon footprint. Taking the Take Two sort of pledge then all of a sudden set the wheels in motion, and the resources of Sustainability Victoria were available to us. We became aware of all of these resources and started to utilise the resources. The Yarra Energy Foundation, and they were really instrumental in helping us find a solar energy solution. The first year it was pretty much cost neutral, and then from year 2 onward it becomes cash flow positive. So not only is it better for the environment, but it was also better for our bottom line as well. So it was a real win-win. Also through Sustainability Victoria, we ended up getting an energy audit, both the hospitality side and the brewing side, and looked at all of our energy consumption right across the board, as well as our water usage, and gave us some recommendations on some of the things that we could do. Our spent grain goes to farmers, either to feed pigs or cattle, and more recently we found a farm that has chickens that uses our spent grain to feed chickens, that produces eggs, and those eggs we then use here at the beer hall in the kitchen, so kind of closes the loop as well. We've also done some heat reclaim from our chiller. Is probably one of our biggest energy consumers in the brewery. We've got water that circulates and reclaims that heat, and then we use that hot water as an in-feed to the hot liquor tank for the hot side, but we also use it for cleaning. What we've decided to do is, off the back of that, also set up our own internal sustainability group within the organisation. Ideas can't just come from one person, they've got to come from a whole bunch of people. When we got into cans, we chose cans because we believed infinitely recyclable and better for the environment. But I guess one of the big differences is just in the transport. Aluminium, it's a lot lighter. You get 100 cartons instead of 77 cartons to a pallet, and therefore it just reduces the freight load, and freight in the supply chain is a big part of the footprint. Aside from that, the packaging materials we use are recyclable. The Pactex are 100% recyclable and made from 100% recycled plastic. The cardboard is 100% recyclable, and the aluminium is as well. Obviously, single-use plastic is just a terrible thing, so we've actually removed straws altogether. People haven't kicked up a fuss. No one really needs a straw that badly. One of the areas that we feel we can improve on and we can do more with is our food waste. We have a hell of a lot of food waste, not from the kitchen so much, but from what's left over on people's plates. So we're looking at ways of having that collected and composted. We kind of categorise it into two things that happen within the brewery walls, but then there's the things that we can impact outside of the brewery, and that is to do with supply chain, both upstream and downstream. The biggest part of the footprint in the entire life cycle of the product actually happens before any of the products even get here. You kind of have to focus on the products that you choose to bring in to understand the processes that have gone behind those. And that's about choosing materials, working with companies that are also doing their bit. And hopefully then when we share that information with the rest of the group, we can then make a difference and we can influence practice. You create a fantastic culture when people work for an organisation that they believe in, and the work that the organisation is doing is something that they connect with. And this is one of those elements that people connect with. So it's authentic, and they feel that they're working for for one of the good guys.